Right, we have all caught up with this week's Coronation Street. It's time to chat about... Tell you what, it's a lot of randy goings on in the street this week, wasn't it, Jem? Everyone was at it.
I know.
Snogging, bonking, all
smutty
sorts.
programme?
It was total smut fest this week on Coronation Street. Honestly, is that how they're trying to get the viewers in, by tantalising them?
Yeah.
That's not what Coronation Street is all about. But yeah, there was some of it was quite fun, some of it was silly. It was looking forward to talking about it all the same. And I've got a smutty storyline title for the first one this week, which is Costello gets his kit off. Because he's got a kit off, doing something a bit naughty this week, hasn't he?
Well,
hey?
You're just encouraging them, because this wasn't even sexy, but you're making it.
Sarah was trying to be sexy, wasn't she?
Well,
This is all part of that story. I call him sometimes we call Costello Bostello.
Yeah, I do know
I've
that.
got a new nickname for him now.
What?
Sustello.
Sustello?
Yeah, because he's proper sus, isn't he, this week? He's been up to no good, I tell you.
I like him.
That was a massive yawn. Your yawn gave away.
Sorry, it's the morning.
It is, it's Friday morning now. Yes, I do quite like Costello. I'm kind of interested in where that's going, so we'll chat about that one first.
He always got a stink face on, doesn't he? I like that.
Yeah, he does.
He always looks like he's like disgusted with everything. It's because he's watched the previews. The smut programme.
Okay, the next one is total smutty. The family affair storyline. Cabby, that should be that's their shipping name.
Yeah, Cabby.
Well, somebody needs to get Carl a cab out of Weatherfield.
They're driving me mad.
They certainly are, but there was a very satisfying twist to that story on Friday's episode, which we'll get to next. Then we'll talk a little bit about the dementia stuff from Monday, which wasn't really very much, but it kind of links into the Carl and Abi things. Olly Amorous is my name for the Olly storyline. Okay. Do you get it? That sounds like polyamorous, although we know maybe that's a twist for the story to come round. It's just one massive orgy, Weatherfield this week, isn't it, honestly?
Something in the water.
Although, of course, Dee-Dee would never have sex before marriage, so it's not going to go that way.
No.
Hang on a minute.
She just needs a ring.
Next up, we have got the story with the McCarlis at number 4, Mama in the Slammer. Lou has been sent down for 4 years. So I've still got
4 years.
What? Yeah, 4 years.
40.
No,
it's a bit harsh.
That would be a little bit harsh because Gary has had it coming, didn't he? No, so Lou is definitely gone. Maybe 2 years' time we'll have her back again. That's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Prison maths is like, yeah, but don't forget, 4 years is actually 2 years, and then you get time off for good behaviour added onto that, and then we take away how much your contract was, and then you end up doing next week.
Well, of course, if you escape, you can just be out next week. So You never know. Maybe she'll be there and hiding out in Sally's executive hot tub. We've got a little bit more of La Casa de Cassie Sukasa storyline, which was also very randy on Monday. And then it seems like Aadi has decided to journey off to India, despite it being a ridiculous idea. Alas, we Aadi knew ye is my storyline title for him buggering off. Although we've still got him for a little bit longer. Maybe Amy's going to be able to convince him to stay around in Weatherfield. I don't know. We'll have to see on that one, won't we? But the Costello storyline first, and Sarah's all her naughty getting up twins in the factory. Yeah,
this really annoyed me. This story.
Why did this annoy you?
I don't
get it out there now.
I can't even get into it.
You've got to get into this, Gemma. This is a podcast.
So stupid.
Opinions are plenty.
No, I don't want to get into it. It's going to get me in trouble. I just thought this whole thing was so dumb.
I'm going to try and tease it out of her later, everybody. So, do you want me to start this one, and you can chip in? Or
what do you want to do? Do you want to do Carl and Abi, or do you want to do this?
No,
one?
I'll do this one. I'll do this one if that's okay. Because Gemma's still a bit sleepy this morning, aren't you?
Yeah.
A little bit tired.
I ate toast and now I feel sick.
Delicate constitution, haven't you?
I don't normally eat breakfast. This is why.
Oh, there we go.
I only eat full English in the morning.
Right. So you got a little bit of holdover with the whole proposal thing with Carla and Lisa, haven't you? Because she's in the cafe with Ryan at the beginning of Monday's episode, trying to sort out what on earth to do with this proposal. Don't think it gets much further than that for the rest of the week. We had a couple of
don't even mention it again.
No, we had a couple of just family scenes at the Connor Swains, didn't we? With like the scene on Friday where Lisa's taken down notes of every time David the dog barks, and I loved it at the beginning of Friday's episode where she catches David putting rubbish in her bin as well. She was like a classic Corrie Curtin twitcher in that scene on Friday, wasn't she?
It is really funny.
Edith Sharples would have been proud of her,
because we don't really like as a show. We've never lived with Lisa Swain.
We have not.
like, as her owning the house. We've had her be a house guest of Carla's, but, like, she's a bit of a nightmare neighbour, isn't she? Taking notes. But mind you, David kind of deserves it, I guess. I guess he's, we haven't realised how actually nice Yasmin and Ali have been.
Yeah, this is true.
They've been very tolerant living next to these horrible
I do
plants.
I do like the idea of her looking out the curtains and judging all her neighbours. But I don't think that's necessarily her personality. She's not a gossip, is she?
It's really interesting. I like it.
It's of course we would never do such a thing. Although this week we have got people moving in down the close, haven't we? And you keep calling me over and saying, "Michael, look, there's an old woman that's just walked in. I think that's the mother-in-law."
That. Horrible.
She did it.
That's because I was making jam, and that's where I had to stand.
Yes, you were observing the neighbours
when we
moved
whilst
into jam making.
Yeah, that's a different part of the house that I don't normally go in, which makes it sound like we live in a mansion.
That's in the West Wing.
Oh. And when we moved into this place, the lady that owned it before us literally said to me, "Oh, this window is really good to stand at to watch what's happening." And I was like, "That's a bit silly." And then I'm going, "This window is actually great. You can see everything."
If only we had any modicum of drama going on in our little close. It's not the most.
There's also someone selling their house further up the road.
I know.
And I saw some people looking at it the other day.
They couldn't make a soap opera out of our street, could they?
Unless it was about estate agents.
No.
Oh God! Oh
What?
God! Oh God!
We could what?
Coronation Street. Please don't get estate agents on this show.
Do you think that's the next step on?
I guess they couldn't do it because the locations would be too expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
Who do you think would make
and also everybody just moves somewhere on the street.
Who do you think would make a good estate agent?
Ooh.
I think Adam would be quite good.
Yeah, Adam would be a good estate agent, wouldn't he?
You have to wear a suit and you have to be a bit arrogant. Sorry, estate agents. But a lot of them have to be quite excited with themselves, don't they?
Yeah.
You have to be confident to be being a salesperson. You have to be confident. You can't be a shrinking violet, can you?
Maybe Kirk, that's what he can move into, because he was looking at trying to get a sales job in today's
It
episode.
would be so funny having Kirk, like, just pointing out everything that's wrong with every house.
I would like to see that. That seems
it.
like you could get at least a couple of episodes of comedy out of Kirk's. So you remember when he took over at the Prima Donna for an episode? Was that last year when the health inspector came round?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they've got to do something with Kirk. Why not make him
They had some great scenes with him this week.
What?
That was a joke.
They never do anything good with Kirk.
They did have him say that he told Sarah that she was nice, good on the phone, and then he said, "Nobody phones me," and she says, "I'll phone you, Kirk," and he said, "Warn me first," which I think was supposed to be a joke, but it didn't really land.
No, it didn't at all, honestly. I don't know what he's been cast adrift, hasn't he? Ever since Beth, when he was fairly adrift before, but ever since Beth's gone, it's even worse.
Do you know what? If you were gonna call, if you had Coronation Street and it was a season, every season was a year, and you had to give a name to every season, this literally would be called Cast Adrift, because where are they? Where's half of them gone? Well,
yeah, they're just shipping the new lot, don't they? It's a little bit like on Classic Corrie, where Carla's getting in Polish workers to take on their jobs at the factory. And now in Coronation Street, 20 years later, they're just bringing in all these new characters and the old established ones.
My question is,
the sniffing.
Who is Kate Brooks going to push down the stairs? I know nobody pushed the person down the stairs, but there is a death, isn't there?
There is a death in the factory coming up.
That's a good way of getting out of pain.
An old Corrie, that is, of course.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah. Kirk being an estate agent reminds me of, what's that programme that Stav Lets Flats?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So,
I love that show. That's
anyway,
hilarious. It's a good comedy.
That was the first scene of the week, and we can't spend this long going off the other ones. But anyway, so Sarah and Kit come in. They're in the cafe, aren't they? And they're talking about holidays, and Harry's narked off apparently that they haven't been on one this year.
Harry can get lost because his face, I don't like his face. He should change it.
We haven't actually talked about this yet, have we? I don't think it's a spoiler.
Released. It's been released.
They've recast Harry Platt already, and I'm actually proper disappointed about this, because Carter J, who played him before, was a really, really charming guy. Boy, I suppose. How old is he? 8, 9? Well, the character anyway. I thought that they'd really got a really, really good kid playing Harry, and I was like, oh, there's clearly going to be some drama coming up there. We're going to see him with Sarah. They want to push him to the forefront. This is the Harry that we're going to see going through his teenage years. That's good. You know, he's a Hollywood movie star, isn't he? He was in the Robbie Williams film. But
he was Robbie Williams in the Robbie Williams.
He was baby Robbie Williams monkey, wasn't he?
Baby
Robbie. Yeah, now he's got a job on the stage. He wants to go into musicals, and he's in Matilda.
Yep.
And so they've had to recast him.
Is he playing Bruce Bogtrotter?
I don't know. That's what I thought. There aren't very many young boys in
no
Matilda, are there? Like, there's Matilda's brother, and there's Bruce Bogtrotter, but he only gets one scene. Is that worth leaving Coronation Street?
It's the main bit everyone remembers.
It is, yeah. But anyway, I'm very sad, and I hope that the replacement for Harry is going to be just as good.
Now, to wildly speculate, without anyone drawing any conclusions out of this, because I literally do not know, I find it very weird that there isn't some kind of contract that he had to fulfill.
I'm very surprised about that.
And I'm not saying anyone's done anything wrong. I would never say anything wrong about any actor if I didn't know. And sometimes I wouldn't even say if I did know. But I wonder whether Corrie is giving new people really crap contracts that don't last very long.
Well, I know.
Are they not giving him years? Are they just giving him 3 months or something?
I wonder whether he was given a 6-month contract. Is my speculation.
It just seems really. It feels as though
maybe it's a standard one for the kids.
Just
I don't
projecting
know.
on to a situation I don't know. It feels a bit like Corrie thinks they've got all the cards here, and they can just say to people, "Yeah, you don't get security, you don't get paid as much."
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, but if it's true, then if that is what's happened, it's bitten him in the bum, isn't it? Because he's gone, you don't get security either, because I'll go do what I want.
I think that
good for him.
I reckon that the kids are probably on something very, very different to what an adult cast member would be.
Well, it's probably legally not allowed to have the same.
Exactly. But it is a shame. I mean, he must have been in what? 4 episodes? Actually, no, I've not looked.
It was a very small amount of episodes. It was under 10 easily.
He was in Gail's, because he appeared for Gail's Leaving Do, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was in the scene earlier this year when Danielle did a drive-by slagging, and he was carried into the cabin. But I'm disappointed by this, but interested and eager to see what the new Harry is like and see whether anybody notices.
Good luck to
good luck to Carter J.
Yeah.
Maybe he can come back when it's all done with Matilda. I don't know. I'll have to go and see him. Anyway, we are taking far too long in this very first scene of the week. Anyway, Carla starts talking about this guy called Eli, who is the new character of the week. He was only in on Monday's episode, and I wouldn't be surprised if we never see him again.
I don't like Eli.
Apparently, Eli wants... Well, they want to do a pitch to Eli about some, I don't know, knicker thing, whatever it is. And he says, well, you've got to do it today, otherwise we'll have to wait until September.
Can I just say that September's not that long away?
The
way they say, oh, we've got to wait till September, I was like, oh gosh, that's years from now. No, it's not. It's about 2 weeks.
Yeah, but anyway, they want to get it in there.
I bet they wish they'd waited now.
Sarah says, I'll do it. I'll do the presentation. It's fine. I'll charm him. Because she even says in this early scenes, I think that Eli's fancies me or something, doesn't she? I think they kind of set
well, Carla's like, you're going to flirt your way through it. And Sarah's like, oh, don't worry. And then David
I would never do that.
Then teases Kit that Sarah fancies Eli.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And Jonah's like, shut up.
Yeah. Anyway, so... We meet Eli in the precinct later, although we don't know it's him at this point, do we? Kit meets this bloke who's basically just standard posh guy, isn't he? I don't think there was much more to Eli than... Oh, yeah, standard handsome posh guy, sorry. And he's there in the precinct, and Kit stops him saying, oh, you parked illegally, I need to look through your car, it might be full of drugs. And I thought at the time, I don't even know what's going on here. This seems a bit suspicious. But then the next time we see him, it's him arriving late at the factory, having been delayed by Kit's boot sniffing because he says he smelled drugs in there. Well, somebody said
this guy Eli, and I'm only ever critical of people when they're too handsome or too tall.
That's why you're always making fun of me, isn't it?
Yeah, he looks like. Do you guys know what I mean
obviously.
When I say Sigma male?
No,
he looks like that guy. The Sigma male from the meme.
Oh.
Did you see?
Yeah.
He looks a bit like him.
A little bit.
He's bearded and handsome. Too handsome, and he's got his jaw and his cheekbones just offensively crisp, aren't they?
We're just jealous, aren't we? He's probably used to women hitting him on all the time. I don't know
Hitting
on him
Oh.
all the time. I don't know why he's taking offence at Sarah quite so much. But anyway,
He's probably just bored of it at this point. It's like people always just fall at my feet. It's so boring.
So she starts. Sarah starts doing her presentation. And
well, hang on, you haven't even said what she was wearing. She's not even wearing
not much.
She was wearing her little waistcoat, which I think was modelled originally by Kirk when he was singing his arsehole song. She was
quite revealing.
And she was wearing the product that they were trying to sell, which was a flower strapped bra that you could see peeking out.
Mm-hmm. When
and it was clivage.
When I was watching the scene, I'm going to admit it.
Oh, you liked it?
I liked it.
I'm going to admit, I thought it was quite sexy.
I didn't watch that thinking, oh, there's something going on here. This is wrong. Sarah, how can you? Because I suppose we're just kind of used to... I don't think that... Carla says later on, oh, you can't do that these days. And Sarah says...
You can on Coronation Street.
That's the thing. It didn't strike me as particularly...
The mixed messaging here was off the charts. Like, was not Carla in trouble with Lisa not that long ago for flirting with a man?
Oh, yes.
And she was like, oh, it's fine, he's gay. Right, so you can flirt with gay people and make your partner uncomfortable.
Well, Carla wasn't showing him his pants, to be fair.
The whole point and the reason why this annoyed me is that Eli actually wasn't upset at all about this. He just pretended he was so he could get a 40% discount.
Yeah, I think so.
So any kind of message about feminism or sexuality or double standards and should a man be offended if a woman flirts and is it right that women do use their sexuality in business? It's all out the window because Eli was just using it to blackmail them. And then everybody else started doing it. It made no sense at all. It was the most stupid storyline. It's like offensively bad and annoying. Because it could have made a really interesting point.
But it didn't for you. It didn't land.
I don't care about... Listen, look, this is what's going to get me in trouble. I don't care if women use their sexuality to get ahead in life because... This is one of the very few weapons in our arsenal. I don't have it, right? I can't do this, but I don't begrudge a woman for doing it. It reminds me of do you remember the series of The Apprentice that we watched when all of the women went around the market?
There's a memory unlocked.
And they were like going, oh, can I please have these melons for free? And the men were like, oh yeah, fine.
Yeah, and then Alan Sugar tore
No,
a
it wasn't.
massive
It
strip
was
off
Karen
them.
Brady with her original face telling them off for making women in business look bad. And I was thinking, is it not a combination of women using their sexuality and men also letting it work on them? Who lost out here?
Yeah. If it had been the other way around, if it had been I'm just trying to think, let's say Kirk was there hunkily flirting away to some female.
But it's not the same thing. I know that we're supposed to say that it's the same, but it's not. If a man gets flirted with by a woman and he turns her down, what happens? If a woman is in a situation like that and she could... What's the worst that can happen there? If a man's coming onto a woman and locks the door of an office, it's a completely different situation because the man could rape the woman. Was Sarah going to rape Eli? Was anyone worried about that?
Well, Fizz was watching them from the outside, so probably not.
Do you know what I mean? It's not the same thing.
It didn't offend me.
Women don't have the same physical strength and power, and I know that women we shouldn't do this and all blah blah. But what this story wasn't that story.
It was also
so
very
weird.
much in character for Sarah-Louise, wasn't it? Who is
she's
a
so
massive
busy.
flighty piece.
Yeah.
I
just don't know what to say about this. I hope.
I think we said it.
I don't know if people are going to get mad at that opinion or if they expected unexpected, coming from me to say it. I just don't think it's double standards because men and women are different.
It didn't bother me at all.
A man might be scared that maybe he's going to get a false accusation made against him, and I completely understand that. That could devastate you.
Yeah.
But it's not the same situation as if a man locked a woman in an office and started pushing her into a chair.
Well, maybe people will see the story this week and then realise.
But it's not about that, is it? That's the whole thing. It could have been a really interesting discussion and stuff, but it just turned into, oh, now everyone wants a discount. But why? How do they think they're justified for a discount because something happened to somebody else?
Maybe Sarah's been flirting with all of them and it's all going to come out that she's just
all
been
like,
the massive flirt
I didn't know I
of
could get
Weatherfield.
money off for being sexually harassed at the factory. I bet half of them are complaining about Carla because she's not above doing this.
Well,
I know she said you can't do it these days, but what she meant is you can't do it on a Monday. You've got to work your way up to it.
We also had the storyline a few years back when do you remember Mr. Hamlin, the wheelchair-bound client? And they turned him into a massive perv, didn't they? Because wasn't he being all over Alia? I can't remember, it was so long ago now.
And the moral of the story was, even wheelchair users can be perverts.
Yes,
and that's equality.
Exactly. Anyway, there's more to that to come. But meanwhile, you've also got the other kind of facet of this story, which is what's going on at the police station.
Oh, cool.
That got favourite Corrie set.
Oh, it's nice that they use that again.
Something's going on with Costello, and Kit's involved in it as well, because he's on the phone with somebody and it sounds like he's getting some good news for them, and he kind of scribbles down a mobile number on a post-it and tears it off. And Lisa's like, what are you doing, taking a personal call? But he says that's what it is. It clearly isn't. And then she is doing her detective work, isn't she? Because she goes over there and scribbles over the top of the post-it, and it comes through and it says a number and then Costello. And I like that. I thought that was a nice little revelation of it.
It was quite fun.
Yeah, it intrigued me. What's going on there?
I bet she learned that off of the that what's it called? What's it called? Those little binder things. Not Halifax, not Ceefax. Filofax. Remember they used to have Filofax spy. I used to have a spy kit, and it would tell you all those tricks. And also, say he'd written it in lemon juice. She could have put it on a radiator and heated the lemon juice up and it would have gone brown. And then she could have read it then.
Yeah.
There's all these tricks.
There had been a few kind of suspicious looks from Costello in previous weeks. I can't remember whether we particularly touched on it. Since
Craig's funeral.
Has he?
When he was lurking, do you remember, and staring, and everybody realised he looked like the guy from the Me Plaza.
Oh, yes. You're right.
One of the default characters for a Wii game.
Yeah, it was the boxer in Wii Boxing, I think.
Was it?
Maybe.
I just really recognise his face. Whenever I see him now, in my head, I go, do, 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 do.
No, so I can't remember how long he's been in the show. Was he in it a year ago? Probably not.
He has. Really?
Well, even Kit was barely in it a year ago. I can't remember. Did it spring last year he first appeared?
Oh, good. It feels like he's been there for
Costello
years.
Hasn't been a character up to this point, has he? He's been very much
like
there.
I said, I think that...
He's been a Dr. Gaddas kind of fleeting appearance.
Craig's death was when it all began.
Well, yeah, this is also when Jess has suddenly come into the forefront because she's arresting people left, right and centre as well.
So he's called... What's his name?
What?
Jerome Costello.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know how long he hasn't even got his own.
He hasn't even got his own Coropedia page, has he? He's going to be getting one soon though, because up until this point, he's had no personality other than being just the boss, the looming boss, and telling Lisa and Kate, "Get on with your work," or "You're on desk duty," which seems to be his go-to punishment there at the station. But there's something going on with him, and I'm kind of intrigued. I hope that it goes well and he delivers some great performances. I'm not sure at the moment. Anyway.
Oh, I love him. I think he's great. I like him lurking around.
So yeah, so do I. I've got a few theories about him later. I'll tell you later on. I'll see what you think as well. So anyway,
so Eli's supposed to be going to the airport. He said you got 10 minutes.
Back at the factory,
and she's like, "I can do it in 10 minutes, baby. I can do
Kit strides in.
I can do a lot of things in 10 minutes."
Kit strides in, and Eli realises that Kit and Sarah know each other, and he's like, "Oh, this jumped up traffic cop's your boyfriend." Eli tries to go, and Sarah says, "Look, honestly, there's just 2 minutes left of the presentation, and then this is."
She gets her boobs right into his face.
Yes, I'm sure he hates it. Back in the what have we got?
Well, he might do. There's nothing wrong with a guy not liking this at all. It's completely normal to find it weird and creepy. It's just that this show is taking the mick a little bit if it wants us to believe that they genuinely are trying to make a statement about sexual harassment. Okay, I'll
The next time we hear from him or hear of him, it's Carla telling Sarah that this bloke is actually now asking for a 40% discount, otherwise he's going to report her for sexual harassment.
Who to? Who to?
What do you mean?
Who's he going to report it to? The police?
Yeah, the factory police.
What exactly? It's not like they work. It's not like he can go to HR.
No, he can.
Is he talking about going to the police? Because he's talking rubbish. Because he's just seen that she's got a cop for a boyfriend.
Yeah, that's
would
true.
you really find it?
Would
you really find it plausible to go? I'm going to report you to your boyfriend for sticking your boobs in my face.
There are more than one police officer at that station.
I know, but I also don't think.
3.
Sadly, I don't think that. I don't think that anyone would take him seriously, and I don't agree with that because if he genuinely did find it uncomfortable, then he should get some kind of justice for it, but he clearly didn't.
Wouldn't get more than a slap on the wrist.
He clearly didn't find it uncomfortable because he wanted 40% off. If he really didn't like it, he wouldn't want money off. He'd just report her.
I suppose it's also the reputation of the factory. Sarah has done something here which she shouldn't really have done.
Yeah,
and it's made life a lot more difficult for Carla.
This is what they wanted to get out of the story, isn't it? This is all they wanted the story to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But really, honestly, what do you mean Underworld's got a reputation? Yeah, of course it does. It's run by 2 sexy ladies and they sell underwear. And people are like, oh, did you hear they were flirting? Try and sell pants. I can't believe it. What's this rag trade come to?
How else do you think they've managed to stay open for the past 30 years?
Like, God love her, Carla's only got this job because she slept with Paul in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of the women on Coronation Street have their businesses because who they were married to. It's not progressive at all.
Well, she wasn't running it all the way through, was she?
She had her own baby clothes company, didn't she?
Yeah, at first.
And she decided she hated children.
Anyway, Sarah gets sent home to work because Carla's sick to the back teeth of her, and so she kind of skulks off there while Carla calls Eli to try and smooth things over with him. We also, on this episode, had a little bit of a side story with David, didn't we? Who is joyfully revelling in the drama that's going on between his arch nemesis Kit and his sister. And Kit's like, you're just obsessed with me, leave me alone. Because David's calling him a traffic cop and all this kind of stuff. And Kit kind of hobbles off. He's still got his crutches, hasn't he? I don't know how long they're going to stay on for.
A more realistic time frame than normal because he actually needs them in real life.
Yeah. How... Do you think that David's being petty or is all this justified? Because I'm going to say... it feels like the Shona and Kit night of passion has very much been just brushed under the carpet. And then when did that happen? November, December time? If I was David, everyone's just kind of saying to him, so somebody literally says to him later this week, so he slept with your wife, so what? Drop it, get over it. And it's like, sorry, in real life this would be huge. I know in a soap opera this kind of thing goes on all the time, but David has got every right to have a vendetta against this. What did he call him? A jumped up giraffe? I can't remember. Don't you think?
Yeah, in Coronation Street, he's taking the grudge a bit far.
Big angry giraffe is what he said. I've just seen where I've written it. So again, he's taking it too far.
In the world of Coronation Street, he's taking it too far because we've all moved on. But I thought this was also to do with the whole Kit smashing his car up and then threatening to arrest him.
Yeah, they've
had this rivalry.
They've had beef for a while.
Yeah, and also I think David's going off the rails a bit because he's also picking fights with Lisa.
By putting rubbish
in her bin and moaning at her for them putting rubbish in his bin, letting his dog bark all the time.
I think that David...
He's going off the rails.
Yeah, but I think he's got a little bit of Napoleon syndrome or whatever it's called.
Do you think he misses his mum?
I think that he misses being the main character.
Main character syndrome.
Yeah, he has. He's got side character syndrome, or main character syndrome, or whatever you call it after. Like, he used to be the big face of the show. Like, so much used to revolve around David. The Platts were the number one family of the street. And what's been going on the last couple of years? Barely anything. The house burned down a couple of months ago, and now nobody even talks about it.
No.
Everyone's moved on. This is all now this year been revolving around the Websters, around Theo and Todd, and poor David barely gets a look in. So I think he's feeling a little bit
Yeah,
whatever the soap version of emasculated is, if you're just not used in enough storylines.
Oh, you think it's so great because you're a new character, Kit? Well, you wait till you've been in it for 20 years. Nobody cares about you then.
Yeah. And I think probably the height difference between those two does kind of add on to it as well.
Right.
But yeah, I think that poor old David just wants to get a look in again. But I don't blame him at all.
He's just elbowing his way into any story he can get.
And even Shona is like saying, "Oh, David, just forget about it." I can't. Maybe that's what Abby's hoping Kevin will do when he finds out about it. Just get over it, Kevin.
Right. Kit goes to the flat.
Kit goes to the flat later and's telling Sarah-Lou all about David winding him up. And he apologises for what happened at the precinct with him and Eli, and Sarah says to him, look, to be honest, that's... Oh, what was that? I got an Alexa notification. Alexa. Sarah's like, I could be in trouble here because Eli's reported me, and Kit hears all about that.
He said he's going to report me.
Yes. So, back at the station, you got Lisa talking to Costello if he has a new mobile number, because she saw that his name was written on the post-it note next to a mobile number that she doesn't recognise. And he does look a little bit guilty about that, but it's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. He also advises her to keep things professional with Kit because they were doing...
So what do you think? I'm really intrigued
spats.
About this. This is more interesting than...
I think let's wait until we got to the end of Wednesdays, because we had that scene. Wednesday's cliffhanger was kind of interesting, and then they don't really go into it on Friday, sadly.
Well, I can't wait for Betsy and Lauren to crack this case.
I know. So then you get your precinct scene where Kit's rendezvousing with Eli. Eli. I thought for a split second, just for a little bit, it was going to turn out that they knew each other. That's why I think I wrote rendezvous in the notes here, like there was an agreed meet-up. But it wasn't. He just is tracking him down, and where else would he be if not the Victoria Gardens bench, but the precincts, that's where everybody else turns up.
Well, maybe they do know each other, because Kit's like, you can't... What are you going to say? She had a low-cut top and she offered me a discount. You can't make this stick, and Eli's not intimidated at all, and then he's acting all cocky, but then Kit does some kind of secret threat.
Yeah, this was the scene where I suppose looking back on it, we saw David's point of view, who was for some weird reason standing up in the little walkway on top of the flats by Sean's flat. I don't know what he was doing there, and obviously it was another massive Corrie coincidence. Unless Kit's tracking Eli, David's tracking Kit.
Why not?
I don't know.
Maybe it was just literally that he threatened him.
I think it was.
Yeah,
I think it was. But it was, the camera kind of pulls back and you don't hear exactly what he said, but it was enough to put the frighteners on him, because when Kit pulls away, Eli's looking proper shaken by it all. So Kit then goes back to Sarah and says, look, you don't need to worry anything about this, Eli. I've got him all sorted. Cut then to Chariot Square, where Eli checks in.
Why?
Why not?
Because he said he had a flight to catch, right? Did he miss his plane then?
I can't remember whether they mentioned it or not.
Because if I missed my plane because Sarah-Louise was showing me her boobs, I would want my money back.
I'd say, well, it was worth it.
Would you?
No. Oh, you caught me out. Anyway...
I guess if I was a woman and I did business with Underworld, what would I think about this?
What if?
I guess if they were going to give Eli a discount, I'd be like, I want a discount. This is actually discrimination on the basis of sex, because you didn't flirt with me, and therefore I couldn't ever get a discount for threatening to report you. So, in the interest of equality, I want a discount too.
Well, this is what everyone starts doing on Friday, isn't it?
Do you think some people also end up going, I don't want a discount, can Sarah just flirt at me for 5 minutes?
Yeah, one or the other. Maybe that's how they'll solve it all.
Maybe.
Carla just invites them in.
You know what is wrong with this world that we live in now? Back in the old days, it used to be all peace and love and boobs. And now,
Mike Baldwin, he was always flirting with his clients, wasn't he?
Mike Baldwin would have given Eli 40% off.
His version of flirting was just giving him a cigar and a glug from his whiskey bottle, wasn't it?
See,
Times has changed.
This was...
He tried to ply me with alcohol. I want 40% off. He tried to give me lung cancer.
You don't know I'm not a recovering alcoholic.
Exactly. Anyway, David is tracking...
Can't say anything these days, can you?
You can't. David's tracking Eli, and I quite like this scene because Eli gets into the lift, doesn't he? And then a hand comes in. You're like, oh, what's going on there? Who's that? And it's David, who's just got nothing better to do. Nobody's hair to cut, clearly. And he tells Eli, well, I know that the pressure's been on Kit at the station recently, and if you want to report him, I think it might just stick at the moment. So, yeah, good on David. That Kit does need taken down a peg or two. Wednesday rolls round, and you got a bit more snarky banter between David and Kit in the cafe to kick things off. And Lisa's still on the case with Costello and says to Kit, have you noticed anything weird about him recently? Nope, he says. So he knows something, which, as you know, we get a few more clues about this as the episode goes on.
It's a really bold move of her to just literally point blank ask them both what's going on, rather than like sneaking around and asking other people.
Yeah, I mean, as viewers, we're kind of thinking, oh, he's something to do with Becky's death. But I don't think at the moment she's necessarily got enough to draw that conclusion. Because in our head, there's very few cases that we know about at the police station. But in real life, he could be up to all sorts with all these other crimes that we don't see.
True.
So at the moment, she's just doing her initial investigations, and she looks at her post-it note again just to remind the viewers from Monday's episode what's going on there. I wonder whether is she going to ring that number at some point?
She should do.
Or
don't use your mobile though. Use someone else's.
Or is she going to see somebody getting a text from it? I don't know. I think that keep an eye out for that number. Memorise it. So, Sarah, back at the factory, is still in the doghouse. Eli's now spread the word around the rag trade that Underworld's employing a sexual predator. And Carla says, look, our rep has taken a serious hit here.
So dumb.
The factory is going to close
really?
down. Oh, no.
Does anybody who's ever worked with these two women, was anyone surprised that Sarah did this? Do they not already know these two are sexy ladies? I don't get, like... oh man, this whole story is really winds me up. And like calling her a sexual predator, okay, whatever. But like,
she can prey on me anytime, baby.
Why is he? So I don't get this. Eli's trying to blackmail them, but he's already done what he said he was going to do, which is to tell everybody else. So why would they give him a discount now?
I don't know whether they've already given.
Well, I mean, what's the point? What, you can't blackmail somebody and then do the thing you're blackmailing them over, and then also get the money. Do you know what I mean? It's one or the other, mate.
Well, they still want him to buy their stuff, I guess.
They're always in business with people that are holding them over a barrel.
I don't understand business. This is just all above my head, to be honest. At the station, right, so you got Costello telling Kit that he has slipped up big time with this Eli thing. Now he's reporting you for police intimidation. Thanks,
everybody
David.
needs to know that this Eli is a big squealer.
I know he is, isn't he? He's just a big mama's boy, isn't he? He's probably gone home to tell oh, mummy, a little baby, a lady showed her boobs to me today, and then a tall man said mean things to me in the precinct.
If he really was upset by what Sarah did, then he has every right to be. I just don't believe for 1 minute that he was.
Yeah, he's just taking the opportunity, isn't he?
He's being a predator as well.
Anyway, Costello wants a meeting with Kit later in the interview room. So this is when we know for sure that he's a bent copper, because he says, I don't mind you bending the rules if it gets you the collar, but I can't have you getting caught doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Stop being so messy, Kit.
So he gives up desk duty, but we're still saying it's recovering from his injuries. So handy that he's got that those crutches. And Kit says, no, I don't want to do this. And Costello says, look, it's best for us. Stick to the story and we'll get through this.
Interesting.
So, yeah, Costello is a totally dodgy copper. I don't know whether there's any, like... chief inspector at Weatherfield station, or whether the buck stops at Costello.
But it is kind of hilarious that by the time they finish with this storyline, every copper in Weatherfield except Lisa Swain was bent.
Well, no, even Lisa's done things. She's turned away, hasn't she? We had the story a couple of weeks ago when Brody collapsed in the cell, and she was like, "I'm not doing anything about it." Although I know that she didn't know about it. No. But she'd arrested Brody just because she was a bit narked off that he was teasing her about. Was it about Becky? I can't remember.
But it is funny because It's this kind of like religious person syndrome on this show, right? If you're a religious person, your faith will be tested in some way, and somebody will bring something up, and you'll have to decide whether you really believe.
Yeah.
If you're a cop on this show, you'll be tested by being bent or not.
Literally, they all are. Even Craig was a little bit, wasn't he?
Well,
I think at the moment, has Jess blotted her copybook?
I think she's the only one left.
I think she's the only pure one, isn't she?
Oh. Maybe she'll be promoted to Costello's job.
Maybe.
Nobody else can do it because
then
they're
she'll
all
be Costello.
Yeah.
Anyway, so something's going on with Costello there. So then you get Kit.
What do you think it is? It's just something boring, isn't it? It's just some
Get to the
boring...
end of the episode. Get to the end of the episode. Kit and Sarah in the booth at the Rovers. David comes in and says, haha, yeah, it was me who pushed Eli to report Kit. What are you going to do about it? And then Kit stands up to him, and Sarah's clearly narked off that he has been intimidating someone, and then she strops off because I can't remember. She does know that he's a bit dodgy, doesn't she? I think, maybe.
Wasn't it the hair stuff?
No, but I don't think she knew about. I can't remember what she knows, but it shouldn't surprise me, even if she doesn't. Like, her history with men, she can't help it. So
she's like, I can't believe it. I thought I got a good one this time. I keep dating criminals, and it turns out that this policeman is a criminal as well.
Yeah, she's just a magnet for them, isn't she?
Sexy magnet.
Yep. Lisa comes into the pub trying to pump Kit for details about why he's been given desk duty, and he's sticking to the story that he's injured, which he clearly doesn't believe.
But this makes this is the only thing that makes sense. Imagine if somebody like, oh, I need the police because I've been robbed, and then Kit turns up with crutches on. You're like, well, what are you going to do?
But
you can't run after him.
She was already suspicious of him with this phone call and the number with Costello, so she's just kind of going down that route and following that thread.
Well, I mean, it doesn't follow if he's been actually doing stuff and now he's not.
Yeah, or maybe he's hurt himself.
Maybe his knee hurts.
Right, Sarah strides into number 8 and tells David to leave Kit alone. So this guy slept with your wife. Get over it, like we said at the end. David's like, no. I saw Kit threatening Eli, although...
He saw him.
He saw him kind of leaning over intimidatingly and whispering sweet nothings into his ear.
I'd rather be harassed by Sarah than Kit.
Would you?
Well, because she just threatens you with a good time. He threatens you with, like, I don't know what he said he was going to do.
I wonder. Kit does... See, this is the thing. Kit is the most massively dodgy copper there is out there. Eli, say what you like about Sarah, but Eli was 100% in the right to report Kit for this.
But he's a character and Eli's not.
Whose side are we supposed to be on? Whose side are you on? Because, David is kind of half coming across as being an interfering little toe rag.
He's being a psychopath
but
again.
He's being another agent of chaos. But he is, I think, completely in the right. And, he's not necessarily doing it to protect his sister from yet another disastrous relationship. But much like Tracy blackmailing Abi and Carl by the end of this week, I'm kind of cheering David on as well. And saying, yeah, you shouldn't have done it. Kit has done far too much. He's only been on the street for a year, but we've already seen him get away with far too much. He needs to get taken down a peg or two.
Go on,
but
Kit.
when his bosses bent his 9-bob bit, then he's luckily he's got a bit of somebody covering his back there at the station. So anyway, speaking of the station, Kit's telling Lisa, I just don't know why I've not been more severely punished for intimidating this witness. And she says...
Who says this?
No, he says that there's something going on with Costello as well.
See,
so
this
he's
is weird.
kind of suspicious of Costello.
No, he's not. He knows exactly what Costello's going... What his
No,
deal
I don't
is.
think he is.
Well,
he does.
But the conversation they had in the room... Kit knew what he was talking about. He wasn't going, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're obviously in cahoots over something.
I don't think
And
they
now
are.
Kit is manipulating the situation because he knows that Lisa's on the scent and he's going to throw Costello under the bus to try and save himself. Because if it comes out that Costello's bent, everyone's going to look that way and he's hoping he can save his skin. And Costello won't say anything about his involvement.
I do.
Why is he...
I don't think that Kit and Costello are in cahoots.
Yes,
I think
what?
I think that scene in the interview room prove that they're not in cahoots. Otherwise, they would have said, well, this thing that we're secretly working on. But he didn't. Costello still retained that little bit, a separation. I'm still your boss. I'm not going to open up. I'm still going to just tell you, you're on desk duty, no more questions. I think that if they were up to something together, he would have mentioned it. Because he said about, it was later on, I think, wasn't it, where he says about you requesting to see Becky's files. I can't remember. We'll get there when we get there. But I think that Kit probably will come out of this smelling of roses, and it wouldn't surprise me if he does be the one that helps take Costello down. But he's pushing.
So he's saying, why didn't Costello punish me more? What is he up to? But he knows what he's done. Kit knows what he's done in the past. And
I think he's suspicious.
Kit knows what he's done, what Kit has done. Kit knows what Kit has done.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if I knew that I'd been a bent copper and my boss basically said to me, I know you're a bent copper, but don't get caught, I wouldn't then go, hey, Lisa, this guy is up to something. I'd be keeping my mouth shut.
I don't know. There's a couple of other scenes that are...
This is when also Lisa says, why did you request Becky's files? And he doesn't answer. Yeah.
Then you get a couple of scenes that's just kind of tying up the Eli stuff. Shona telling David, this just proves that Kit loves Sarah.
I think he does.
I think,
didn't he not say something along those lines at one point?
Maybe, I don't know. Then you have Sarah telling Kit about the Eli situation. David's blown out all of proportion, and she manages to win him round anyway. He tells her about the Becky case, doesn't he? And he says, I asked Costello for the files recently, and I was told in no uncertain terms to leave well alone. So, he is suspicious.
Investigating it in secret.
Yeah, he is. Let's go. So he gets called. We'll come back to it in a second. So he gets called into work by Costello, and they have this meeting, this shady meeting there, and Kit makes some kind of snide remark or other about Costello having nothing to hide, and Costello says, "Look, just remember who you're talking to." Kit kind of implies to Costello, I know that you're dodgy.
I know you're up to no good about this.
And Costello's like, watch yourself, I'm still your boss, and I've got power to do an awful lot more than put you on desk duty, basically.
It would be really refreshing if actually Becky wasn't bent and she was doing some kind of undercover stuff that's really secret.
Right, this is what happened, okay? This is what happened.
Is this your theory?
Yep. Becky was investigating Costello. She suspected. Yep. Costello has been up to no good all this time. I don't know what it is. Drugs, murder, whatever. Becky suspected him. She found some dirt on Costello. Costello says, this Becky needs taking care of. So either he was the one that was responsible for having Becky mown down, or he's, I don't know, put her into witness protection or something, which, let's say he's got the power to do, and say, right, Becky, either I'm going to have you killed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What would you like?
Or you can go off and be on witness protection, because we already know that Becky had a very minor, low-key funeral. Yeah. Maybe there was no body at all.
Yeah, can you imagine all the police going, I don't know what's the point going, she's not even dead.
So this is what I think, and I wonder whether Kit is on the scent with this. Which, he was asking for Becky's files. Obviously, Costello doesn't want to give anybody Becky's files, because Becky's files would say a bit more of the truth about what happened. Especially, if it is a witness protection thing, and we're still clinging on to this idea that Becky's maybe alive.
This would be hilarious.
I don't know one way or another.
If the files were literally like, she's actually just living in. Well, for this show, she'd probably be living in Southampton, because that's where they all go, and they.
So I don't know. Escape. We don't know enough about Costello to know whether he's the sort that would literally kill off one of the officers that were onto him. You've got the risk, haven't you? If you're saying, I'm going to send you to Timbuktu or Southampton, you're not allowed to put your head above the parapet, you've got to live a quiet life, otherwise I'm going to kill Betsy. I don't know.
Yeah, kill Betsy.
We don't know enough about Becky to know whether she would be the sort to just go away quietly. We know that she'd had an argument with Lisa the day that she died, in inverted commas.
Well, if you knew that you were going away in witness protection, you wouldn't fight with your wife, would you?
No.
You'd be all weird.
Unless she did it as a way to make it easier.
Less painful.
Maybe, I don't know. But
That's not very emotionally mature, is it?
You'd think, but maybe Becky left a secret note for Lisa or something that she's going to find. I don't know. This is like massive conspiracy theory.
If Becky turns out to be a lie,
it's not.
The internet will melt down.
It's not even my fault. We didn't even come up with this idea. We're just running with stuff.
I like the way you said it's not my fault.
I'm probably more inclined to believe that Becky is actually dead at this point. Although
the fact that
it's so soapy and it makes much more sense.
It really
for her
is
to
a
be
good
alive.
red herring to be like, leave those files alone.
Yeah.
Maybe Costello is actually Goody, and Becky got in over her head, and that's why he's covering for her, and it is all just misdirection.
Him
being dodgy.
I think with Costello telling Kit, I don't mind if you bend the rules. That was the, there's no going back. I know it wasn't a massive thing, but that was the way of flagging that his character is definitely, on the dark side. So this is what I think happened.
Oh.
Becky was investigating him. He realises that things are better without Becky there. Kit's trying to find out about it, but he's also not telling Lisa at the moment. Maybe he's not trying to get her hopes up, or he's trying to protect her.
But you also don't know
Kit's going
how
to come out of
much-
it smelling of roses, maybe.
They're not. They've got a weird relationship, Kit and Lisa, and maybe he's suspicious of her too, thinking this was your wife.
Mm.
Maybe you knew actually what she was up to, and if I tip you off, you'll tell somebody and stop me from investigating.
I don't know.
You
I
can't
think
trust
Lisa's
anybody.
made it fairly obvious that she's completely in the dark about this.
Right.
So I mean, what happens now is, does Kit find out more? Does Lisa do something with this number? I'm still a little bit disappointed that it's not Betsy and Lauren that are going investigating this, because I wouldn't have minded that.
I really do not. I don't like this drop-in of ideas that they're doing, and I think I can't see how it happens, because it's not like the story has stopped. I can understand when a story gets abandoned for a really sad reason, maybe something in real life happened and they can't do the story anymore. That's I can understand that. But what I'm saying is, I don't like this thing what they had with Lauren and Betsy going, we're going to investigate. We're like the famous five, but there's only two of us, and we're going to investigate and find out what happened to Becky. Then they carry on the story of what happened to Becky, and they're not involved in it, even though they've also been in scenes.
Mm.
That seems very sloppy to me.
Lauren's too busy being told that she's needy by Aadi.
Well, she went to hospital, didn't she? So how could she investigate?
Favourite place. It feels almost at this stage they could kind of leave it. It wouldn't surprise me if many months go by until we hear any more of what's going on with Costello.
I think some people are going to go mad if that happens.
I know.
But they need to decide if they want to know or if they want more police.
I feel like really bad that I'm kind of excited about this, because it's a police part of Coronation Street, which is the bit that we don't like. We're not supposed to like that. But I quite like that theory. I just want it to be over and done with and then blow up the police station.
I'm not invested in hating anything to the extent I'm going to let it ruin my enjoyment of
a storyline that you're actually kind of intrigued by.
Wouldn't it be cool though if this did culminate in some kind of fiery finale where they did blow up the police station and it showers of corrupt paperwork went everywhere?
I mean, I think they firebombed Sun Hill at least twice during the Bills run, and that still kept on going for a couple of years afterwards. Yeah. So I don't know.
Can't keep
anyway, that's what I reckon's going on there. There wasn't a whole lot to this story on Friday. It was, like we said earlier, a couple of scenes of domestic bliss at the Connor Swain household.
Except for David barking. Again, the man.
Yes, the man, not the dog. We did get a scene on, was it Wednesdays, when David the dog was sitting on David's chest? It's been a long time since we've seen that. And there's literally nothing.
And the Eli's been talked down.
Yeah.
But other people now also want a discount.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose money for some reason because they can only say yes.
Yeah, exactly. We got 5 or 6 scenes of it, but it basically boils down to that. Everything seems to be okay for now.
Maybe
we'll park it for a bit.
I think Kit did find drugs in Eli's car, because what was he smoking to think you can get 40% off just because Sarah showed him his babs?
Very true, very true. Okay.
I love your theory.
Thanks. I honestly didn't copy it off the internet. I thought of it myself.
Nice.
Maybe everyone else has thought of it and I've just not seen it, but that's what I'm
Yeah,
going with.
I'm not trying to read too many. I haven't actually been on Twitter for ages properly.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Right.
I feel bad.
Carl and Abi, Gemma. What have they been up to this week? Bonking, that's what.
God. I tell you what. Do they? And I don't know because I don't look. I actually don't like watching people kiss. I think it's
your eyes.
weird, especially when I feel like I know them. I'm like this. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Invading your privacy. Here.
Yeah, I don't know, but are they the most passionate lovers on Coronation Street ever? Because they really seem to get in there. I think that Abi knows things about Carl's molars that not even his dentist does.
They have done it all, haven't they?
But you know what I mean?
Built up tension, sexual tension for months. It's all just exploding out in a bit of passion now.
It's the steamiest performance I think I've ever seen on Coronation Street.
Oh, come on. Jim McDonald's got something to say about that.
What did he do?
Well, just him and Liz. They were always at it, weren't they?
I don't know. I avert my gaze.
I don't particularly... This is my part of one of my many problems with this storyline. I don't particularly see there's that much chemistry between Carl and Abi.
I do.
I don't think that, they're great for each other.
I do. I think they're doing a really good job of I
just hate it.
Animal
every time
attraction.
Every time I watch it, I just think, no, I hate this. I know I was asking for them to hurry up and get on with it for months.
Were. It's your fault.
But now they have. Every time they come on screen, I just really, really hate what this has done for Abi.
A noble man, aren't you?
Abi was one of my... she was there in the top 5, and I just can't stand...
Are you literally saying... I thought this was a bit... Are you really not like her now?
No, really? I don't. I know, and I'm really, really, really gutted about it.
Well,
I just hate every time Abi comes on screen thinking, you massive... floozy, as you told me to say the other day.
Yes,
I'm not allowed to say the other word because that's sexist, apparently.
Well,
but it's just so utterly horrible, and it's just despicable. But it is one of those times where I'm saying, which I'll do to the characters I like. What have the writers done to you? This isn't Abi.
Well, yeah.
And then that takes me out of the show as well because I'm thinking about the writers and the plot and everything, and I'm not thinking this is the sort of thing that Abi's doing, because I know that she's made mistakes in the past and she's spiraled this way and the other, but I can't. And I almost can believe that she would do it. And I'm also battling with the fact that I don't think that her and Kevin are the best couple, but I just hate how deceptive and uncaring she's been. The fact that this week she decides that rather than going on holiday with her own son, she'd rather stay at home in bed with her brother-in-law. Like, poor old Alfie. Going, where's mum? Where's mum? Oh, she can't get her passport. No, actually, she's just flat on her back in number 13's bedroom. It's absolutely despicable what they've done to her character. And I don't know how they're going to come back from it. And lots of people haven't enjoyed Abi anyway. But I think that they've generally tried to portray her as a sympathetic character, haven't they? She's been the hero character. And this year...
She's literally rescued people.
Yeah, she has. And this year they've thrown her under a bus. Is there anybody watching that's going, yeah, get in there, girl. Whoa, he's a corker, isn't he? As people say these days.
Corker.
Nobody is cheering them on, surely.
This is like...
It's horrible.
Is this the second year in a row now? Was Aadi and Courtney last year? Or was it the year before?
I don't remember.
But this is Coronation Street's
maybe
annual let's gross everyone out at summer. Like, they want to do a sexy summer story and they just get two people together that everyone doesn't want to be together and makes us watch them kiss.
But at least with the Aadi and Courtney, you might have thought that was creepy, which it was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like character destroying. This is the ultimate assassination of Abi, I'm going to say.
I don't hate
For
it.
what purpose? Just for a bit of summertime titillation? I'm so disappointed, and I don't know how she can come back from this.
You know, they say summer loving happens so fast.
But this isn't. This is bloody going on for months, it feels like.
Well, maybe, like Gypsy Rose Blanchard once famously said, the D is fire. You don't know.
Did she?
She did.
I don't know what that means. Right, run down what happened this week, Gemma,
I don't
hate
Abi at all for this storyline.
Don't you?
No, it's weird. I don't know why.
Are you gunning for her?
I'm not gunning for her.
As in,
I'm
not gunning
thinking,
for her. Are you championing her?
I just think that she's been hypnotised by
So it's
the D.
Carl's fault.
By the big D.
I can go with it being Carl's fault. I mean, she was resistant for a very long time.
I feel bad for them that they clearly really, really like each other and there's no future in it.
Do you think?
And I feel bad for Kevin because he's got no bloody clue.
I feel mega bad for Kevin and Debbie.
But I don't really like Kevin that much. I feel bad. I feel worse for Debbie because Abi is merrily destroying her future while she's struggling heroically to be a good sport about the very terrifying thing that is slowly happening to her.
I've got no clue at the moment whether Carl's going to be, still on the street in a year's time. Is he going to settle down with Abby?
I really get the impression he's going to... I just, in my head, think he's going to sod off.
To me, he feels like I'm going to have this storyline, get a bit of fun out of it with my sister-in-law, and then sod off and leave her kind of licking her wounds. Yeah. But, man. So, I'm fuming, honestly.
But the interesting part of the story this week was the involvement of Tracy,
yes,
who is causing chaos in both new and classic Coronation Street.
Yes, she is.
Good
a little bit more so in classic, I suppose.
A little bit more. So she catches... Well, this is all to do with Cassie and Steve and the Tracy and the... I was going to say funeral, but it's a divorce. And he is sneaking out of number one. And he's like, sorry, I had to sleep somewhere else because of what happened with Doran.
I should have put this in the other storyline, really, but let's
and
carry
Steve
on anyway.
Is like, you're only just jealous of me and Cassie, and she's mad, so she kind of like decides to try and seduce Carl by getting him to pay attention to her, asking him for a service, and they get chatting about the fact he doesn't work there anymore, which I forgot. And they get talking about him, the fact that he lives at Debbie's hotel, room 101, which she thinks is very funny. Then Brody shows up at the garage for a shift. And at one point, I'm sure he's the only one working there this week because Tyrone was nowhere to be seen and Abi was having an affair and Kevin's on holiday.
Brody, he's holding the fort there, isn't he?
He is a bit, yeah.
Well, Brody, who was he was talking to today saying, it's really easy working at the garage. He's only just started.
I know. How does he know?
Yeah.
Right, so...
He's probably being asked to make the tea.
Yeah, make the tea and sweep up the...
Yeah.
Shavings. Whatever you do in the garage.
Shave? I think you shave...
Gaskets.
You shave your mechanics, don't you? With Carl's face changing.
Yeah, Carl's...
Can we just...
Continuity of Carl's face.
I've never seen such terrible continuity. It was really bad. Like, people have pointed it out in previous weeks. I can't even remember we've talked about it. But it was so blatantly, 1 minute he's got a beard and the next
it wasn't
he's
a beard.
clean shaven.
It was healthy stubble.
Yeah. But when I picture Carl, I picture him with the stubble.
Yeah, me too.
So every time he comes onto the screen and he's clean shaven, I'm like,
He looks strange.
You look weird. You don't look like Carl at all. It's funny how getting rid of the beard can do that to him. But it's enough so that you notice when it flicks back and forth.
He literally walked through a doorway on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, it was Wednesday's
episode. And then he was
clean shaven in the street, yeah.
No, I think he was beardy outside and he walked through and he had...
No, I thought it was the other way around. It doesn't matter. But literally, that was in the course of one scene.
Yeah.
Standing at the door, his facial hair is one length, steps inside, and then it's the next.
It must be an absolute nightmare. But I mean, if he shaved his face, you cannot do anything about it. If you need to do reshoots, and I don't know why.
It's not that you couldn't not notice it. So I wonder whether there was something to do with a reshoot there, or the guy was called in to film some scenes and he's like, I've shaven, and they said, that's all right, nobody will notice.
I know,
They could have just put it on with a bit of
stubble.
felt tip pen, couldn't they?
Could they not? I mean, look, this is a big mistake, and everyone has noticed it, and we are making fun and making it lighthearted and stuff, but I'm just going to say, there might be a very sad reason. I don't know what. There could be something horrible.
Oh, I know.
So I'm not going to make fun of it anymore. We've had our fun now, so we'll just leave it in case there is a tragic and sad reason.
It's not the sort of thing that you expect to see on Coronation Street.
They wouldn't make this mistake normally. No. They just wouldn't. They know how to make a TV show. They've got a guy that does the continuity. I don't know if it's still that guy, but they do care about this stuff. If something has gone wrong, quite as obviously, there's been something. And I'm not going to speculate. I have literally no idea. I'm not saying it because I know anything. I'm just going to say I'll drop it now because there's things it could be.
Yeah, I don't think we can say it's like, oh, it's the beginning or it's yet another indication that Corrie doesn't know what it's doing at the moment.
It's just something obviously unavoidable. That's all I'm going to say. Right, so.
But they could have. What could they have done?
Exactly.
Put him in a face mask.
What can you? Yeah, have him wear a very big scarf. Right. Anyway, so
just another layer for Abi to unwrap.
Oh dear. Carl finds Tracy in the shower in his hotel room.
Oh yeah,
How'd she
he goes
get in
there?
there?
I think that she said something about sweet talking with the concierges or something. I don't know.
This is sexual harassment.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
So she's coming on to him and he snogs her. They fall to bed together. He says, oh no, I've got a dodgy tummy. And he pretends he needs a big poo. And so she's like really disgusted and leaves. So I like this. I like the fact that Carl has got enough about him to be like, it's wrong to cheat on Abi, but it's not wrong to cheat on my brother.
I was almost hopeful for a moment when he did start snogging, because he didn't pull away straight away, did he? There was a few seconds worth of, I'm quite into this actually. And like, you dog.
He is a dog.
And then Abby's going to find out about this and drop him. But I suppose she still could. Did she find out? I can't remember whether she found out.
Yeah, she did, because Tracy says this.
Oh, yeah.
But I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but when Carl found Debbie on the floor, I was also wondering whether he was going to leave her there, because he already did throw Tyrone and everyone under the bus over Doran because it didn't suit him.
Oh, yes.
So I was wondering, this was a test to see if he is actually a really bad guy or not, and
that really would have been,
yeah,
not that he needs, I hate him anyway, I despise the man, but yeah, that would have been the ultimate, this is a villain, this is a horror. But he does love his sister. She's just, he's got no, although we were thinking that he was going to try and steal money off her, weren't we, at one point?
He still owes people money, and now he owes Tracy money.
10 grand.
No, I can see why he owes money to people in Germany. He's probably knocking off their wives as well.
Yeah, maybe that's going to be the big reveal.
That's why he owes the money.
He's not some businessman that's just fallen on hard times. He's just a massive sex pest.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lothario.
And poor Sarah's being dragged over the coals for her tartars, and now we got Carl, international sex pest.
Yeah, he is.
Right, so anyway, it's getting, Kevin and Abi are getting on very well, end up in bed together, and Carl comes around and realises that they've been at it. And
this was Monday, everybody's at it episode, wasn't it?
And Carl tells Abi...
Even married couples.
I know, can you imagine? Carl tells Abi about Tracy to make her jealous, because he's obviously jealous about what Kevin and Abi have been doing.
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, he's in a huff with her, and he's not replying to her messages.
Yeah, because she went to bed with her husband.
Yeah. Tracy comes in and asks, who's Carl knocking off? He's playing really hard to get. He must have another woman. And Debbie's like, well, come round the hotel tonight. You can have a free meal with him on me. And then she says, put it on Anime Bullock's bill. And I thought she was saying Anime Bullock. Obviously, you're supposed to think that, but it's Anna May Bullock. And I was felt attacked.
You thought it was bollocks, didn't you?
Everyone did.
Yeah.
But anime, I feel like somebody who wrote that has got like a teenage son who won't stop watching, I don't know, Attack on Titan and filling up the Netflix queue with suggestions. So anyway, Abby's trying to put her off, but it does not take long for him to have accepted it. So Carl and Abby meet in the Ginnel.
Yeah, by
Maddie's mural. And he's like, sorry, I was busy. And she's trying to apologise, and he's not happy. The fact that she had sex with Kevin. And he says, yeah, I'm going to meet up with Tracy. Who knows what else? Could have a nice time in Mallorca. Jealous of her going on holiday as well. What a
If you're going to get involved with a married woman, I'm sorry, these are some of the things that you have to put up with.
This is what Aadi would call him. Needy.
He is proper needy, isn't he? Okay.
Right, so number 13, Abby's calling Debbie out on pushing Tracy and Carl together. And Debbie's like, look, I'm just trying to get him to get Tracy out of his system. I don't know if you know this about Carl, but he just plants his flag and skedaddles. He's all romantic to everybody. He's always got a bird on the go. And obviously this shakes Abi.
Always sowing his wild oats all over the place.
So she's now thinking, I'm just the latest in a long line. I need to do something to keep my man. Kevin's then coming in going, oh, we're going to go on holiday. Can't wait.
And she'd rather stay behind in Weatherfield with her lover.
Well, Tracy and Carl are having this dinner in the hotel. He's clearly not into it and even admits this and says there's someone else. And she says, you fancy Abi, don't you?
That was quite a good... as I say, I enjoyed Tracy's involvement this week, but when she immediately calls him out and says, you fancy Abi, I was like, yes!
Get him.
This is the beginning.
So she says, when I fancy someone, they're fair game. I reckon you're the same. And he's like, no, don't tell everyone that. I actually do like somebody, but they're from Germany and now they've moved to Wales, so you probably don't know them.
He says that he's going off to Wales.
This is very much like
sets up
my Canadian girlfriend. So Abby's leaving yet another message for Carl later. Cannot face the thought of going to Mallorca and not being able to see him for 2 weeks. This is how I feel when we leave Abi behind. I miss her so much. Right, so Kevin's all ready to go on holiday and Abby's like, oh gosh darn, wouldn't you believe it? I cannot find my passport anywhere. Gonna have to not come. So Kevin's looking and Abby's like, oh, it's hopeless. And can I just say another unforgivable trick here, because unforgivable Kevin pretending to have cancer when he didn't. Unforgivable pretending you've lost something when you haven't. Because losing something is my most hated thing ever.
Gemma
I hate losing things. I hate looking for things. I hate it when you lose something. I hate it when I lose something. If somebody made me
hate it when I lose your things. That's the worst of the worst.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I hate it. And making me look for something that isn't lost, I think I would actually divorce you. It's not acceptable.
I saw somebody online theorising that Abby's obviously not going to get a new passport because she doesn't need one. And then
they're going to see on the date.
Yeah, well, either they'll see on the date, or Kevin will say, "Hang on a minute, you've got a red passport here.
Maybe
you're supposed to be getting a new one. It's they're blue now."
Or she'll just say she found it.
Yeah.
But then that wouldn't make sense because she would have had to have begun the process to get a new one, and then that would have invalidated her old one, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Mm. Well, she talks about like having a speedy. Can you do that?
Yeah, you can.
Can you? Oh, okay.
But the other thing is, and she's just going to say, oh, I couldn't get a flight. There were no flights. That's what she'll say. But what was I going? Don't you have to put your passport information into your flight thing to get aeroplane tickets in the first place? How does she explain that?
I don't know.
I think I found a plot hole.
Do you think she's actually going to go to Mallorca or not?
I think what's going to happen is that Kevin's going to come back next week and go, I missed you too much.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah, probably.
That poor
and I'm like, Debbie. I'm like going, well, just bugger, why don't you just spaff some more of my money up a wall?
Oh, yeah, because it was her that paid for it, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's paying for a family to go to Mallorca this time of year, last minute, not cheap at all. Right, anyway. So she's like, oh, look, I'll get a replacement and I'll follow you in a few days. And then Carl goes to see Abi and she tells him what's happened and says, I love you. I love the boys. I wish I loved Kevin, but I just don't.
My heart
And he's
breaks.
like, hooray, we can have shaggings for a few days. And she starts to undress him and they kiss and head upstairs. At this point, Kevin and the kids have already gone because Abi only looked for her passport like 5 minutes before.
Tell you what wouldn't surprise me on this is Kevin comes back from Mallorca and it's like, oh, the bed's broken, Abi. What's been going on here? Wouldn't surprise me the amount that they've been at it. Although they're probably bed, sofa, shower.
Well, I'm surprised because on Friday, Carl's wearing Kevin's dressing gown, and this gives Abi the ick a little bit, but she gets over it very quickly. Standard
soap attire.
Yeah,
everyone's always wearing each other's dressing gowns in this programme when they're out at it.
Debbie shows Tracy a picture of Kevin on holiday and says that Abi couldn't go because she needs a new passport. And Tracy's like, how suspicious. So
I like how you were stroking your invisible beard there as you said that.
I was feeling like Carl. Where's my beard gone? Oh, I'm sure I had one a minute ago. Right. So, post-bonk, Carl and Abi decide they're hungry. So Abi's like, you must stay here because everyone thinks that Carl's gone to Wales for some reason.
No, what do you mean for some reason? He's gone to see his German mistress.
Yeah, but why though? He could have they've just complicated this way more because it would have made sense why people kept seeing Carl hanging around. It is his sister's in-law's house.
Because it's going to add to a bit more suspicion.
Well, it makes it more confusing,
with Debbie later, doesn't it?
Because she goes out. She also gets accused of being an alcoholic again because she's buying beer. And
Who was it? Yeah, it was Tracy.
Points this out.
Tracy sees it, doesn't she? And that Yeah,
so
makes her more suspicious.
And then we get Debbie coming in, and I was worried she was going to find something disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she lets herself in the house and she sees there's 2 cups and 2 plates. She doesn't think anything of it. Starts cleaning that up. Starts moving pillows around. I'm like, don't pick that up. You don't know what's under it.
So this is just before she collapses, isn't she? And nothing came of this.
Well, no, it did. Not noticing the cups. No.
That is going to come out, isn't it? Because I don't know whether it's that blame the dementia sort of thing or not, but she was merrily clearing away these double plates, double cups, and she was just saying, oh, it's just such a state, oh, it's such mucket. But she didn't stop to think, hang on a minute, why is there 2? And I think that because she's at the end of the episode saying, oh, I'm sure I heard Carl's voice, I think she's going to just have this sudden realisation, hang on a minute, why were there 2 glasses there? Because that's a standard soap thing, isn't it? For somebody to say, why have you got 2 glasses here?
But, sometimes if you were to come into the room while I'm just watching TV, you would think there was a party going on. Because I'm just messy and I leave everything out.
How many bottles of cider are there on the side here, Gemma? How many people you had round? They're all mine. I know, I think that it seems to me like there was enough evidence that there was more than one person there. So I'm hoping that Abby's going to put 2 and 2 together. She
passes out and Carl sneaks downstairs and finds her there. Doesn't call the ambulance. He waits for Abi to get back. And then
You don't know how long Abby's been, though. Well, I can't believe I'm defending Carl.
but what would you not phone the He's like, oh, I couldn't. It wasn't quite as bad as letting her just die on the floor, but it certainly wasn't as good as I'm going to phone the ambulance.
But he's still worried about, hang on a minute, I should be in Wales. Exactly.
He's putting his affair with Abi, again, in front of other people. It wasn't as bad as leaving her to die, but it was... He should have phoned the ambulance. Yeah, nobody's going to know.
How long would he have left it?
Yes.
He knew that Abi was going to be back soon.
She left her phone, so he couldn't phone her to let her know. He could have just taken the phone and phoned for an ambulance for his own sister.
Just put on a voice.
Hello, it's me,
Abi.
Debbie. Right, so this is when Abi gets back, finds her. She starts to wake up, so Carl runs away like the coward that he is. And so Debbie wakes up. They're all worried that she's had one of these TIAs, mini stroke things. And she says, oh, I just came in and I started tidying and then I fell on the floor like a sack of spuds. And there's a point where she says it's enough of long to fall, far to fall, which is quite funny.
That was funny.
She doesn't want to go to hospital, but Ronnie wants to make her get checked out. So then Abi and Carl celebrate by having a big snogging session right next to the see-through door.
This was the moment of the episode. I didn't see this coming, but it was so satisfying. Cut to the outside and Tracy's there spying onto them.
Watching her, and she says, you devious mucky cow. She looks thrilled.
She is 100% thrilled to have found
She is the Blanche's granddaughter for sure.
When Tracy finds out dirt on somebody, that's Pete
Loves
Tracy.
it.
I love
She's
it.
like the Grinch.
I think that they should have done a bit of a callback there, and rather than having her saying "you devious mucky cow," she should have said, "Oh, have it, you rotten cow and tart."
Right. So after the break, Carl scurries upstairs because there's a knock at the door, and I have to say, if you're talking about attractive men, a man running upstairs because someone knocked on the door is one of the most cringy, unattractive things a man could do. Oh no, someone at the door. Oh.
No, it's fine.
No, it's cringe. Tracy, it should be a big proper man.
What's he supposed to do? Just stand there and take it.
It's just really...
Yeah, I'm having an affair, so
It's just really cowardly. Like, oh, the door, you answer it. I don't want to. What if it's someone scary? I know why he's doing it. It's just cringe. So Tracy comes in and she's like, those beers weren't for Kevin, were they? They were for you. I'm going to do an intervention.
Yes. This
she
was
comes
good
in,
as well. Tracy
pushes her way
pretending.
in because she wants to find evidence. She thinks if she bursts in, there's going to be some kind of proof. Sadly,
she's pretending to be concerned about Abby's welfare.
Sadly, Debbie's already cleaned up the most incriminating evidence. But Tracy's like pretending that she's like, oh, we've got someone to talk to me. Can I go to the loo? And Abby's like, no, it's messy bathroom. And this is when Tracy's like, well, you've just sealed your fate here because I realise that you don't want me to go upstairs because Carl's hiding like a coward on the bog. she says, I got one question to ask you about Carl, though. What's he like in bed? Carl, come down. And he, like the moron he is, he does come down.
If she'd seen something, I don't know, what more could she do?
She hadn't seen any. She had seen somebody kissing, and it obviously matched their outfits. But she didn't... Carl didn't need to come downstairs.
What a misinterpretation of what she saw there.
What a dope.
But yeah, he did look a bit kind of like a sheepish teenager.
A little schoolboy.
Yeah.
Already run up the stairs, and now he walks down like a dope. Anyway, meanwhile, we also get Debbie telling Ronnie she's fine, everything. She gets like a clear bill of health. She
it wasn't one of the it wasn't a
just jiggered apparently.
Just jiggered from all the jogging.
Right, so Tracy then she's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Kevin's had cancer. I'm going to have to tell him about this disgusting display unless you give me money.
How long has it been since Corey's had a blackmail plot? Or the 3-month mark now, are we?
No. Eli was blackmailing Carla.
Oh yeah, that's
like
funny.
On Monday. They're like, well, we've had a 1-day grace period. Let's do it again. Everyone loves blackmail stories. So they're panicking.
I'll accept it if it's Tracy.
Panicking, going, we can't afford to pay you off. And so she says, right, meet me at the bistro at 7:00 and we will negotiate. I just love this woman. She's chaotic, isn't she?
Yeah.
So Carl has to go off to see Debbie in the hospital. He pretends he's just gone back from Wales. And she's like, oh, so, she doesn't tell Carl this, but she tells Ronnie.
No, I thought she did.
She say,
I thought she said, Carl, you know what the funny thing was? I could have sworn I heard you.
Again, these two are really disrespectful to Debbie and her.
So on its own there, that's not enough for Debbie to get a suspicion, but that's why I think she's going to remember what she cleared up at some point. And it might not be for a while.
But don't forget, she went into that fugue state when she saw them kissing.
Oh, yeah, there was that, wasn't there? And she doesn't remember that.
No. I don't know if it's possible to retrieve a memory from that. I doubt it, but this is a soap, so...
I think that with Tracy having discovered the affair this week, I think it's still going to be a while before Debbie clocks on.
Yeah, me too.
But,
right, I love this.
Glad that it's out.
I also really loved... you didn't write it down, I told you to.
What?
When Debbie and Ronnie were in the hospital... And he has a cheese and onion sandwich and a chicken tikka sandwich.
I did write that somewhere. I think I wrote it in the Debbie storyline. This is coming up next.
Oh, anyway. Okay, we'll get to it then because that was my favourite.
It might be. We can say it if you want to think I didn't.
He says, which one do you want? And she says, oh, I don't mind. You choose. And he gives her the cheese one. And she goes, if you had dementia, I'd let you have the chicken tikka sandwich. Yeah. And then he gives it to...
I think that there's 2 solid sandwich choices there, to be fair.
If that was us, I'd say let's have one half each.
Yeah. That's how you know a real relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, that's marriage.
Share a sandwich.
They're just engaged.
Nice, yeah. Anyway, so things have been left quite exciting. They go to see Tracy at the bistro, don't they? And they manage to give her a little bit of extra. Get a bit of extra time from her.
Well, she wants 10 grand.
Yeah.
And Abby's like,
for
that
her
woman...
divorce.
Yeah, she's got to cover her legal bills. And Abi says, you've just made a deal with the devil. That woman is Satan. And I love this because they're supposed to be friends. They were friends like 5 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, it's been a while, haven't they? Because when Tracy comes around, she says to Abi, oh, we used to be so close, what happened? But yeah, now she's totally ripping her off.
There's no loyalty in love and war.
Tracy's got no particular reason that she needs the money soon either, does she? So she can hold on to this one for a little while. The longer you leave it, the more likely it is that they're going to get found out another way. These two are too indiscreet. Yeah, that's true. I'd be panicking if I was Tracy. She literally worked it out from several clues. Yeah. So who's to say that they're not going to... There's no way that they can get that money, is there? No, they don't have it. Although I don't know what... Well, they all have millions. Oh, I don't know what I don't have any money apart from all of my investments and stock portfolio. I might have to withdraw from my ISA. Well, there's the business account, isn't there, at the garage that I presume that Abby's got some sort of... Abby will go through that and go, hang on a minute, somebody's already been nicking stuff out of it. Yeah, it could be. And Carl be like, oh. Well, no, doesn't Abby know about the dodgy MOTs? Well, she knows about the MOTs, but who knows what else is going on. Yeah. Yeah, disappointed in myself that I'm quite excited by the development in this storyline, which I despise. But I'd rather it was like this than just me shaking my head and being disgusted and disappointed, which is what it's been up to this point. So
I
good
think
stuff. Nice Tracy involvement.
It's been difficult to remember which week is what here. Somehow, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's because we had people over.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Why is it
Or
difficult?
did we? I don't remember what happened this week. Because I thought this happened last week with Debbie's dementia stuff. Did we not talk about dementia choirs?
Yeah, in we did. The last week, there was the dementia choir that was brought up on Friday, and the Debbie story on Monday, we will get it out of the way now, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
It's just Ronnie saying, because he turns up at the hotel,
I got
doesn't
confused
he?
reading this, and I thought this was her again in the pub talking about it.
No.
Okay.
This is at the hotel because we got Raphael who's secretly booked. Well, Ronnie's come in and Raphael goes over to her and says, "Oh, there's a man that wants to talk to you in the hotel bar." And then she goes and sees it's Ronnie, and she says, "Oh, Raphael, what are you like?" And he's like, "Oh," and he does that again.
He does, yeah.
Oh,
What am I like?
what am I like?
I love Raphael. I want him to officiate the wedding.
Yeah. It's funny with Raphael because
More Raphael, please.
In so many ways, he's just exactly the same as all the other background characters, except he has the very, very, very occasional line.
He's
he's got no
charismatic.
personality other than he's a raging homosexual.
Michael!
Well, I'm sure that's what it says.
It's the elephant in the
What
room.
more do they need other than that? He's massively camp. I
love-
want to
I
see,
love it.
it's Manchester Pride this weekend. Raphael's going to be there on the floats,
I don't
isn't he?
know.
But he's great, and
I love
it's
him.
funny that he's got these really, really tiny lines, and nobody else gets that. In the supporting artist.
He is the campest character on Corrie right now, and Corrie is supposed to be. We love it when it's camp. So more Raphael, please.
Yeah.
Is he going to be the true victim of Debbie's dementia storyline? And we're not going to get to see him after she goes.
So anyway, they talk about the dementia choir, and Ronnie says, "I'm looking into it. It's not just a bunch of dotty old biddies like you thought it would be." And she's like, "I promise I'll think about it." So, and then that's kind of put to bed.
Tell
for
you
a
what, I
bit.
wouldn't want to be on the dementia choir if Debbie joined it. You might as well just go home.
Yeah, she would probably overshadow you somewhat, wouldn't she?
Yes.
And then there's just a little story where, yet again, she seems to have mucked up the computers because she's saying, "Oh, we've double booked these people," and Ryan has to entertain them while they're
Tell you what, business is
getting
good.
shipped off
She's
to another
got
hotel.
hordes of people that she can't have a room for. Do you know what I say?
What?
Kick Carl out of his sex dungeon. Carl's taking up a room.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Get the cleaning ladies in, do a deep clean, use bleach, and get him out.
Anyway, that's basically it, isn't it? Ryan comes in and helps save the day, and then the hotel guests get shipped off to somewhere else. But it's more evidence that Debbie's having trouble coping, managing the hotel.
She also doesn't like the fact that Ryan got dispatched by Ronnie to help her.
Yeah, because she
She's
wants to
feeling a bit
retain her
disgruntled.
independence. Because she's going off on this health kick this week, isn't she?
Well,
She's
been-
got that
yeah,
green goddess smoothie. And was that this week? I can't remember.
Yeah, this was why she ended up being too jiggered.
Yes, yeah.
And she fainted because she was doing too much exercise and not eating enough.
Right, I'll take the Olly amorous story then. So, this is boring, wasn't it?
Did you not just do that one?
Well, there wasn't really much there, was it?
Oh,
For the
right.
Debbie one.
Sorry.
This went all week. The adventures of Dee-Dee and her lawyer friends and Bland
Can
Dolly.
I just say a big fat pass on this one?
Yeah, it was. So much of this week was the affair and the sexual predatoring from Sarah. Everything else was very much relegated to C status. But this kept on going all week, and it was just like, I'm not getting any kind of spark from this whatsoever.
Ollie is incredibly nice but also tragically bland, and this makes me realise what Sarah sees in the bad boys, because he is just a very boring nice man, isn't he? He's got children's TV presenter syndrome, where he just looks like any minute now he's going to go, and there we go, that was Blue's Clues. And up next,
it's hard because you don't want every character that comes in to have a massive secret or to be secretly
womanising doll.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's that, And it seems that if they're not that, then they've just got to be completely personality free, which is what Olly is this week. I mean, it seems to be enough to float Dee-Dee's boat, but I suppose once you've been out with an evil Joel, then you want something a bit more safe. But yeah, he's perfectly pleasant.
Yeah.
But is that exciting for a character? Why can't he have just some sort of quirk?
Why can't he, like, have a motorbike or something?
Anything.
Cool.
He's literally got nothing.
I can imagine him when he goes home at night. I bet he sits on his sofa and he folds his hands nicely in his lap.
I thought you said he like, folds his pants.
Yeah, he folds his pants probably, and he probably folds his socks. I bet he doesn't even put them in a scrunchy ball because it's too exciting. And then he probably turns the television on to the BBC and he just watches that until it's 10 o'clock, and he goes to bed very promptly and wakes up the next day and has a very healthy breakfast.
I would like Dee-Dee to have somebody nice as a boyfriend.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it.
No, I don't mind seeing
I don't want
it,
to
but
see it.
he's
It's
just got to be
boring.
nice and interesting.
What, like have some kind of weird, dangerous hobby, like knife juggling.
Basically, the story this week is that Dee-Dee is conflicted because she fancies this guy that she's supposed to be representing, but it's a bit of a conflict of interest.
Is it a conflict of interest or not? Because if it is, stop doing it, and if it isn't, shut up about it.
What's happened?
I'm not interested.
He's been involved in a crash. He's saying that his car brakes didn't work because he had a dodgy MOT. I don't think they've made the link specifically to it.
You'd think
Carl.
that this would have come up immediately, that it was done at Webster's garage, if it was, unless there is just a ring of criminals in Manchester headed by Fiona.
Yeah, probably, yes.
Just everybody who's had an MOT in Manchester in the last 12 months is just sailing into absolute disaster.
Anyway, they're in this meeting on Monday with Adam and Alia, who they thank you for reminding us they are a couple, because who remembered that?
Oh, what a bunch of boring characters at the moment.
It really is. And like, Dee-Dee last year carried the show, didn't she?
I'm trying to be really nice. I always try to be really supportive of everybody, but these characters just like, oh, they're lawyers and they're talking about a case and a conflict of interest.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I didn't want to watch Ally McBeal.
So Dee-Dee tells James...
And I don't want to watch it now.
Dee-Dee tells James about this later, and he says, you should just drop the guy's case and go out with him if you fancy him.
Yes,
so
they're not that hurting for money. And also, Dee-Dee, you've already decided that you're part-time.
Yeah, I know.
Just get another part. There's loads of people that have probably crashed because of the failed MOT.
Did anything happen with the fact that Aadi was trying to get that job last week?
Yeah, because she couldn't get it, and so she then asked, can I work with you? And Adam says, no, I don't think so, because it's going to cause a lot of problems. And she said, no, it'd be fine.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
And now they're working together.
Anyway, Dee-Dee throughout Wednesday's episode tries to put off Ollie's amorous advances because she, the whole conflict of interest thing. But she does admit to Shona that he is quite a nice guy, actually. So they go to Victoria Gardens, or he finds her, or she finds him, I can't remember. And she says, we can't do this, you're my client. And he's like, I don't care. And he cozies up to her, and then before long, he's planted a little kiss on her lips. And not long after that, they're merrily snogging away. Dee-Dee, I thought you were a good Christian girl. I think that she needs to ask him at this point, what's your stance on christening babies? Because apparently that's a deal breaker.
And also drugging teenage girls and kidnapping them.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That would be my first question.
Have you got a criminal record?
Yeah.
Just need to know. It's not interesting enough for that.
No,
Although we did. This is funny because when Joel first rocked up on the scene,
we called him Bread
Sauce Joel, wasn't he? He was incredibly bland, and he had a massive dark
She's got
secret,
a type.
so you never know.
She's got a type. She just likes really dull men.
Dull men with massive secrets. Anyway, Alia spies them together, and Dee-Dee takes the chance to leap up and invite herself to the pub with her because she knows that she's getting in a little bit deep here with Olly. Olly follows them to the pub. They have a nice time together, and again, she tells James at the end of the episode, we've really clicked and we had a kiss, but I just need to win this case. That's the simplest way.
And I'm not going to tell him my dark secrets.
No.
Or that I have a baby.
But she does on Friday, doesn't she?
Well, because he sees her in the shop with a baby. And she's like, is this mine? Yeah, this is my baby. Although, if you'd asked me a month ago, I would have said no.
Yeah, exactly. They talk about it. She tells him all about Joel, and he's like, I've heard about Joel Deering, which is quite funny. Was it last week where Theo said, I've heard of Pat Phelan?
Yeah, I know.
Like, all of your characters have been in the case of being wrong-uns in the papers, I mean.
So she just dumps all of this on him. He doesn't know what to say, and she's like, well,
Doesn't
fine.
put him off, so that shows that he's a good man.
No, it does. She says, she runs off. She gets annoyed because when Nina comes over, she says, "Do you want anything?" She said, "Oh, a man with a spine would be nice." And she like huffs off because he didn't go, "Oh wow, what a queen you are!
No,
how amazing!"
He does return to number 3 with the big cuddly unicorn later.
Gets the baby's name wrong.
What did he call her? Lila?
Yeah.
Lala? I can't remember.
I've bought this unicorn for Tinky Winky. That's what you said your baby was called, right?
Anyway, they kiss, and I'm sure that, as I say, they don't go up to the bedroom because Dee-Dee would never do that.
I do not understand why she's doing this if he's her client.
I thought that
just
they kind
fire him.
Didn't they say? Oh no! At the beginning of the episode, they said that the police are going to do a few more checks on his brakes. I thought, it's boring. It's very boring.
Yeah, it is boring.
But I'm sure it's got to be leading to something.
Well,
maybe this is
I
just,
don't care about this.
Got to have a bland start, but
Really
you'll
boring.
never guess where it's going.
And his boring car problem.
Yeah. I don't know.
I tell you what, the cheek of Dee-Dee to get in a huff with him when she goes, "Oh yeah, I was marrying a serial rapist who's also a kidnapper, and he got murdered, and this is my baby," and he doesn't just immediately go, "Oh, that's fine." She's like, "How dare you have a non-committal response?"
It's a tough one because not everybody comes in as
what. Well, it's also bad because if she's representing him but also dating him, he could lose his case just based on that.
Yeah. I just wish that, like I said, I wish they'd given us something to hook onto for his character, because you can have perfectly nice people come in
there's lots
and
of
still be interesting and have a personality.
There's still loads of boring people.
But this guy just doesn't.
He is very boring.
Really doesn't. But I don't
Sorry,
know. Maybe
Ollie.
he's only a short termer. I don't know.
Sorry, Ollie. You can only do what's written in the script.
Exactly.
Right. So, Mama and Summer. It is to do with.
Oh, Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you?
I was just remembering that Wednesday's episode was kind of a whole lot of nothing spread over a lot of scenes, wasn't it? With Tim and Gemma. And I mean, it's up to you to try and interpret my notes here, but I didn't really know what was going on much of it.
Well, this is when Gemma tells Tim that Brody was going to go on a runner when it was the wedding.
Yeah.
And he didn't know about this. So he confronts Brody and asks him and says, "Yeah, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. I want to look after them. We've only got each other." And Tim says, "No, you've got us, you've got Sally, you've got Bernie, you've got loads of people, and we all want to look after you. You're just going to have to trust social services and their plans. I'm not going to let anything happen to you or the girls that's not in your best interests." And then back at the pub, Gemma's like, "Sorry, it's all better off in the open." And then Gemma tells Brody that she's sorry to drop him in it, and he's like, "Well, we can only count on each other."
Yeah, he's not happy that the secrets come out.
Well, he's not really like he technically aren't they? What are they?
They're somewhat related.
Didn't
you say that she was his aunt?
Yeah,
maybe
that's her kind of half nephew, I guess. So he's like, you can't have a half nephew, can you?
I don't know.
So, anyway, so he then looks like he's going to nick a car from the garage, but Carl comes in and he's like, "Oh, I was just cleaning it," and Carl says, "Well, I don't believe you. You were clearly going to nick it. There are much easier ways of nicking a car. Maybe we'll talk about it when I get back from my shagging trip to Wales."
So this scene with Carl and Brody, who kind of mirrored the Costello and Kit scene, didn't it? Where it's like, "Yeah, you're dodgy. I'm a bit dodgy too. Let's talk about this another time." So Brody's maybe going to get involved with the fake MOT malarkey, especially if Carl now needs £10,000.
That's true. That's gonna come up, isn't it? So Friday, it's Lou's sentencing, and they
sadly don't get to see her.
No, Tim and Sally are worried about this, and then Tim tells her about the fact that Brody nearly kidnapped
the girls,
and she's like, "Well, what are you telling me that for? We got to tell the social workers." Then Brody gets a text from Kit seeing if he's all right, and he's also got his GCSE results, and they're not very good. And then they find out that Lou's been sent down for 4 years, and they're all really sad. And a social worker,
it's bound to happen, wasn't it?
And a psychologist comes around to have a meeting with them, and they're like, "Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we'll keep them together. It's all fine." But then Shanice Like, Joni decides to throw something at Janice. She comes in with a bloody knee, and then the social worker's like, well, you're going to have to be separated. Joni's going to have to be taken out. And Joni's like, I didn't mean to. And Shanice and Brady are like, oh, no. And that's it.
That was a very thorough and quick rundown of everything that happened, but this definitely is coming across as a bit of like another C story, isn't it? I'd like to see more of this. I think that there was maybe just a bit too much focus on the other stories this week.
Well, I think Joni should stop throwing things, and Shanice needs to stop being a snitch.
But I think this would be better if we knew a bit more about what was going on with Joni. Like, we had the scene with her on the factory roof with Sally a month or so ago when Mick was on the loose.
I don't know the difference between these two children.
She's the older one. So she comes
Joni.
across as very quiet. Joni, yeah.
Joni's the old one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, I'd like to know, like, what's the deal? Like, is there something that's making her do it? And I know that she's seen the domestic violence at home, but Joni at the moment doesn't really have much of a personality because they're not letting her talk. She's just kind of standing around looking a bit miserable, isn't she?
She's very sour-faced.
And I'd really be interested in getting to know a little bit more about what's making her tick and what's making her do this. And I know that siblings fight, but this is clearly a little bit more than this. And they're not. It just doesn't feel like they're giving us enough. And I think that the actress that plays Joni is perfectly capable of doing it because she was great up on the roof with Sally. But the story at the moment is focusing too heavily on Sally and Tim, and maybe Brody.
They are the characters,
but it's about Joni
and Shanice.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I know Joni.
No, I don't know anything about her. I don't care whether she lives here or somewhere else.
I kind of do, but Corrie's not letting me. And now she's being carted off to live in another foster home, I guess. We're not going to see her for a little while longer. I don't know whether there's another mystery going on here. Is there more to it than meets the eye? I don't know what it could be. Because I've seen some people theorise in previous weeks that Brody was the reason for Shanice having these bruises, but it's clearly not. It's definitely Joni. I don't know. I don't know whether I'm alone in this. I just feel like I want to know more than Corrie's seeming to be willing to tell me about it at the moment.
I think sometimes Corrie relies on us being very sympathetic and empathetic and caring about people that we don't know, which I try really, really, believe it or not, try really hard to. I tried to, but when you go online and you see comments, I don't think most people watch it like that, and they don't care. Like, most people do not care about these children, don't know who they are. All we see from Joni is that she always looks sad, and, well, she doesn't look sad.
Yeah, she is. She's sullen.
Sullen. There's a difference, isn't there? She looks like a sulky teenager, which is obviously what she's been told to do.
But equally, she's not.
And then she's beating up her sister, so I don't feel
she's not mean, is she?
She is mean because she's made Shanice bleed. What's she do to her?
But she doesn't come across like what we don't ever see, particularly, is scenes because they're not giving them enough airtime. Are scenes where she's saying to Shanice, "Right, you little snitch, if you let me have the last biscuit, otherwise I'll stave your face in." You don't see any of that. Like everything that we see, that I believe that I see of Shanice, is that she's kind of a nice girl that's maybe got a bit of a temper. But even then, we don't see the attacks, do we?
I want to see the little girl get beaten up.
I want to see the fist connect. Yeah. Like we every time I think we've seen it, it's been you hear a scream and then somebody goes over to find out what's going on, and Shanice has been upset.
Do you know what I think's happening?
Maybe she's doing it to herself.
No.
What?
Poltergeist.
They're
the right age for this.
The only answer.
They're the right age. Young girls going through puberty, right? There's flying objects hitting people and making them bleed. Bruises mysteriously appearing. The next thing you know, there are going to be notes left, and small fires begin to start. Mm-hmm. Then you know you've definitely got a poltergeist. You're going to have to call someone in.
I think that what I say is give Abi and Carl a rest. Give Kit a rest. Definitely give Dee-Dee a rest. Let's put the Metcalf adventures into the forefront of the show for a little bit. This is Sally and Tim. Nobody out there is saying, I'll tell you what, too much Sally and Tim at the moment, are there? Everybody is crying out, saying, give us more of the Metcalfs. And Corrie kind of teases us with 3 or 4 scenes, a week if we're lucky. No, I
don't find this interesting at all.
But it's because they're not giving it enough time. And I think this feels like the story where if they did invest in it a little bit more, I might find it more interesting. And it's a bit of a respite from all of the bloody shagging and affairs and police stuff. I'd much rather see stuff about foster children and
intellectually
family.
Speaking, I understand what's happening here, and I feel sorry for them, and I feel really bad. But you have to differentiate between if this was real, how I'd feel, and what I've been shown. What I've been shown is nothing to me.
I'd rather see more of this, and also, what's going on with Sam at the moment, than all of the dirty business going on with the other storylines. Like everything, all the main stories this year feel grubby.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't. And the stuff that's going on with Sam and Toya and Nick doesn't feel grubby either. So I just want a bit of a...
No, I'm not interested.
And this is same with the Alahan stuff as well. That's not a grubby story.
That's more interesting.
And that's why I'm more interested.
Yeah, because I know these people. I don't know who Shoni and Janice are.
Whatever their names are.
Oh yeah, that's wrong, isn't it?
Shoni and Janice. Don't even know their names.
It's better than Moni, Brony,
Janice Battersby.
Shoni, isn't it?
Anyway, what have grubby Steve and Cassie been getting up to on Monday, Gemma?
Everybody loved this one, didn't they?
Eye bleach.
It wasn't eye bleach. It was the opposite.
Funny.
You needed eye bleach to watch it. So this was the shagging, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So Steve spent the night at number one.
Yeah, because last week Cassie had said to him, "Look, I know you've been thrown out, but I'll let you in." Yeah.
Right. So he's sleeping at Ken's, but he's basically homeless now. So no wonder Tracy needs money, because she's going to have to pay him off. Yeah. Cassie finds Steve in the kitchen in number 9, leaving Tyrone. He's got this apology lager that he's bought him. Then they start flirting, and Cassie says, "Oh, show me your pole dancing technique. I'll be your pole."
That was quite funny.
But it turned out to be the other way around, I think, because when Tyrone walks in on them,
yeah, you're right.
She's
Steve
bouncing up and down on him with no clothes on.
I don't think that she did have no clothes on. I don't know whether it was supposed to be or not, but the publicity shots for this, she's definitely wearing something quite body coloured. And I don't know whether she was just supposed to be wearing, that's her undergarments that she kind of hoiked up, or whether they were protecting Claire Sweeney's modesty. They didn't need to do that with Simon Gregson.
She's a professional. She doesn't care.
Steve
stands up and puts Teddy over his genitals.
Yes.
Which now he needs to be washed.
Well, we all know the
Teddy and Steve.
But I think that he needs to go for, or maybe it's a girl Teddy. If it is, he needs to go for a morning after pill, because we've seen how fertile Steve McDonald has been.
Anyone who touches that teddy bear is in danger of having the next McDonald.
Exactly.
Men alike. Now, see, this is why I'm glad we've changed to being explicit. Because we couldn't talk about this properly.
Not at all.
Yeah, this is disgusting. Like I said, I think that Teddy's now in witness protection about this, because I bet you can pull some DNA off that Teddy and find out a bunch of other kids that Steve's fathered that he didn't know about.
Oh, can you imagine, like, when the next time that we see, whose Teddy is it?
I think it's Hope's or Ruby's, but they're a bit old for it.
They're a little bit old for it, hopefully. But can you imagine a scene where we see them hugging it on the sofa and we know where that Ted's been? Yeah.
No, not even Corey would do that. So Tyrone is outraged.
Temporarily outraged. Like, by the end of the episode, he's like, "Oh, well, I got my apology lagers. I'm fine, actually."
Yeah.
Poor Tyrone, like, literally seeing your mum doing that.
This was her, and also, can I just say, quite disrespectful to your hosts to just be shagging. This is the kitchen, man!
Well, they haven't got bedrooms, have they? That's the problem.
That's the kitchen, right by where we eat. Good job that tablecloth's wiped clean. You dirty sods.
We did see evidence of a bedroom in Carl and Abby's house. It was today's episode, wasn't it? When Carl was hiding upstairs, and you got a rare glimpse of the landing up there. Of course,
I wonder how they do that.
Well, I can't remember how much is.
They must have to build an extra bit.
It was only a tiny bit, wasn't it? I don't know whether that bit's always there.
A stunt staircase somewhere that they can just put different
Anyway,
on.
We'll finish off just with a little bit of Aadi fun for Friday. The story was back. I've been kind of waiting for this all week because this is one of the things I'm most invested in. But
I don't feel like you got your full.
I didn't really, did I? No, we've been wondering what's going on with Aadi, and of course the police have dropped her. This happens every time.
This is why when Eli's
time.
like, "I'm going to tell the police that you sexually harassed me," and the police were like, "Yeah, we'll investigate it," and then you phone
2
them
weeks
back.
later,
we forgot about that, but yeah, don't worry about it. It's
you can get away with anything. That's why people try it. Like,
just do what you want.
Anyway, they're not taking things further with the drugs. He's just getting a caution, and he's decided, yeah, I am going to India actually. Aadi, come on.
Do you think
I like that it's, on his own terms, but it just feel like, really, really? Come on.
I don't know much about the immigration process for India, but I do think if you've just had a caution for spiking somebody, any country might go, no.
No, it's just a caution. It's all right. It'll be okay. It'll be
like,
floating on a banana
not to
boat.
do it. She did it to herself.
It very much felt like, let's just push this under the table. We wanted it for drama a few weeks ago. And now he's off. But I did appreciate, but he's not gone yet. But before he does, he gets a little visit from Amy. I loved it, obviously. Thank you very much for putting that in for me, Corrie. Amy's forgiven him. She's had a temporary... You rewatched that scene, actually, didn't you? You didn't tell me what you thought, the needy scene.
It's funny, because the first time I watched it, I really, like I said before, had a visceral reaction, like, oh, God, why'd he say that? And then the second time I watched it, I think it's because I read a lot of other comments from people going, I didn't get what was so bad about what he said. And so when I watched it the second time, I could definitely see where people were coming from, because it didn't, shock me. The second time around.
Well, Amy has clearly had a bit of a calm down as well.
Well, yeah, Amy's over it now.
She comes and sits with him on the sofa, and she's like, "Oh, are you going to India? Oh, yeah, I can come and visit you if you like." And this is when Dev.
Aadi says you can come and visit me if you like. She didn't offer to go, and this is weird.
I thought it was the other way around.
This is weird because Amy, did she not say she loved him or something last week? She
did, yeah.
And now this week he's going to India, and she doesn't actually seem sad at all. She just seems excited for him.
I think
the vibe I got off of them was like, I'm Amy, your supportive best friend, and you're about to embark on a new period of your life. Not I'm Amy, your girlfriend, who's devastated.
Yeah, I suppose she wasn't trying to beg him to leave, was she?
If I loved somebody and they were going to move to India the next week, I would be devastated.
Or maybe instead of having the episode end with Asha having a cry on the bench, we should have had Amy having a cry that she's losing Aadi.
Well, we haven't got to that bit yet.
Well, no, we haven't. Dev
had a little cry.
Des has a little cry in the kitchen. Dev comes and has a little cry in the kitchen, doesn't he? Because he's still got his guard up with Aadi and still...
It was his fault.
He's still, yeah.
He's supposed to be the grown-up.
Aadi's in the doghouse because of everything that's happened, and Dev's being a bit of a child about it.
Can't you just let him off with a caution? Dev?
He's all upset because Aadi's decided to leave, and then Asha's upset at the end of the episode as well on the bench outside the hospital because she's on the phone. Is she on the phone or text? I can't remember. To Dev saying, "Oh yeah, my work's fine," but then she has a bit of a breakdown, and obviously work isn't fine because I believe it's quite difficult being a paramedic. More on that soon. And but she's obviously disappointed to be losing Aadi as well because he's a twin and they're lovely together.
She was not happy. Yeah, she was a bit upset when he said that he was actually going to go through with it.
Yeah, I just found that last scene very, very odd, and it didn't fit in with the tone of the week, did it?
Well, it's a preview.
It's a preview of next week, but
to let the cat out of the bag, this will be picked up next week.
It wasn't the sort of thing that would necessarily tease me into saying, "Oh, I can't wait to see Monday's Corrie."
It doesn't feel like
felt
a
odd.
cliffhanger.
No, it didn't feel like a cliffhanger. It felt very, very out of place, I would say. But anyway, I'm not going to let that count against it because I'm not like that. That's the end of this week's Coronation Street. That was fairly short street talk on the whole, but I guess it was just one of those weeks. I mean, I thought it was okay. I was mega disappointed with Corrie on Monday. I just thought it was too grubby. And since then, it's got gradually better. I thought today's was probably my favourite of them all, partly because Abi being caught out filled me with joy. But I'm glad that we didn't get any Theo and Todd this week. I think that would have dragged it down a lot more. But are we going to have them back again next week? Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Oh gosh, this is right slogging it at the moment.
There's a real slog of stories going on at the moment. It really, really is.
I really like Debbie.
Debbie is the shining light of Coronation Street at the moment. She really, really is.
Debbie's my character of the week. Just to get that out of the way.
Not giving it to suspects. I can't. This can't be his new name, so I can't say it. Costello.
Sounds like a Shakespeare character.
Debbie was great this week, but had little to do, I suppose. David was quite fun, although, like I said, he is kind of coming across as being he's a bit needy. I'm going to say a little bit needy, as Aadi might call him. But there wasn't particularly anyone else that screams character of the week to me, because it's not Abi. it's not Carl. No. Tracy, maybe.
Oh yeah, Tracy
quite like
deserves
Tracy.
a nod.
I think I might go for Tracy this week, actually, because I don't, Debbie's going to be racking up the character of the weeks in the years to come.
Well,
while she's deteriorating. So yeah, I'm going to Tracy this week. I'm
loving the return of evil Tracy because she's been nice for far too long.
She doesn't feel like, I don't know whether it's the performance or the writing or just, she's naturally maturing as a character. She doesn't feel like she's right back on the evilest, most devious that she's been.
No, but she's not lost it.
She's not lost it, but it feels like she's just kind of revving up. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more next week. I don't know. Score of the week, darling? To me, it feels...
I didn't mind it when I was watching it, but now we've talked about it, I feel about... It's weird, because normally it's the other way around. Like, I like talking about it, and so it makes me like the week more. But talking about this week, it's just made me go, oh my God. I think it was Olly, sorry. But Olly really dragged it down by being really bland.
I think I still might go... Yeah, I would say 3 kicks in Kevin's nut out of 5.
Not higher than that.
That was a great Tracy line, wasn't it?
Yeah. 3 couples getting amorous on Monday's episode is for me.
Love it. Okay.
Although, was it more than that? I don't know.
Quite possibly, I'm going to say, yeah.
Smut show this is.
Okay, anyway, that's it for this week's Street Talk. We'll be back next week.